This is Marisa Lynn reading Tiananmen Square, 1989. There are stars in their caps, soldiers crouched as if the revolution only walks at knee level. Before them, a sea of students, one adjusting his glasses, his face turned towards some invisible turmoil, this refusal that could bring everything tomorrow, or simply life, or simply bullets slicing the square, shouts and fears running and running into bodies that ripple onto concrete like children napping under Beijing sun, eyelids still as peace, still as red, pooling as ink, resisting its meaning, resisting the fist of a government crushing ambitions into pennies, while a single protester, white shirt tucked in like my father wears to church, stands before a tank, the way one stands before God. Where it moves, he moves. Where he stands, it stops. Man and machine dancing, carrier bag swinging from his left hand, the other one raised as if he were hailing a cab, having just purchased books for the semester, a pack of calligraphy, paper, and an album by John Denver, who my immigrant father first heard in China in 1979. Denver's twang blaring across campus, in the halls, on the streets, ringing through every child's freedom dream, so almost heaven, that my father, upon hearing the news, eats his oatmeal in silence, watches the spoon's craters disappear into mush, and the clouds that float over Arizona desert, how they divide light from the road. About this poem. This poem emerged from my desire to understand my family's relationship with collective resistance. While rummaging through my parents' basement 2 winters ago, I came across a photo of my father, an international graduate student at Arizona State University, marching in protest of the Tiananmen Square massacre in 1989. There he was, walking down the dusty pavement, just as Tank Man stood on a multi-lane highway, just as John Denver sang to the country roads that would take him home. From Chinese, Tiananmen can be translated as Gate of Heavenly Peace. Home, heaven, country, resistance. These are the dreams that bind us.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lo-Fi Lounge. We are so lucky today to get a chance to talk with Cindy Jacobsen and Dan Rush about their new album. It's called, cleverly, Dan and Cindy Heartwood. It's an album that's recorded right here at Lo-Fi Studios. With this young man and myself, we go back even pre-Lo-Fi Lounge days We go back even pre-Redlands days. We go back to Colton in the IE, where we were neighbors. We lived on the same block on 10th Street, in Colton, California. And so, and we would walk to Lincoln Elementary School together. And fast forward 50 years later, that and having our studio, that there was somebody from Colton who was recording in here. And little did I know that it was my, a childhood friend, right?
Yeah, it's full circle.
During this last year, Dan and Cindy came into the studio with I think a very unique task, because Dan writes songs that are, I thought I have a word for it. It's almost like burnished, personal, homespun type of songwriting.
Tablecloth and folding chairs, 19 glasses of tea, celebrate a birthday, all the family.
Narrowing into this songwriting, how did you guys decide how to approach recording these very, very personal, very acoustic, very heartfelt tunes?
Probably was hearing about the studio was very helpful.
Okay.
I actually went to a Dangerous concert when you played at Assistencia.
Oh, okay.
And I met Maria.
There you go.
And Maria says, I have a studio, come down. Well, it took about a year for us to get brave enough to do it. And we came in, and honestly, we had no idea what to do.
Okay.
But we just started. We had a group of songs that we felt comfortable with, that had kind of a vibe. I thought, well, let's see if it sounds better than recording it on our iPhone.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's how we started.
One step forward.
I feel like the ones that really spoke to us, the ones that we practiced a lot and we gravitated to over the several years before we attempted this project, were we just liked those ones.
Okay.
And
they stood out.
yeah, and they had a lot to do with what was going on in our lives at the time that he was writing them, and they just sort of came to the surface.
Did you have, like, even one song or something, say, if nothing else, we've got to get this one song right of this set? Was there one that stood out for you even before you came in?
I think we both knew that no matter what, Hiking with John was going to be the song. And that's because I'm a big fan of John Muir. I read John Muir, did a lot of hiking, and it's just like he spoke to me. So when this song came to me, it was like, well, what would happen if I was out on a trail and this guy named John Muir comes up and says, hey, come hike with me. And then that song came out, and I just thought, I don't know, I'm really proud of that song, because I really feel like I stepped out of my shoes and stepped into John's shoes for just a minute, and it was really fun.
Come walk with me under cloudy skies, breeze through the canyon, sweet pines, and lightning flash thunder roll. I believe it's speaking to our soul.
And there's a line in that. It's probably the chorus. It's not, what is it? It's not like we're walking out into.
Yeah.
It feels like we're walking in.
Right. And in fact, honestly, the chorus was a neat challenge. The chorus is John Muir's words.
Oh, okay.
So the verses are my words. John Muir sang the chorus. So those are his words right out of the books.
Which is, what's so beautiful about that is that you literally did walk in his shoes and his words, but that phrase.
Between every two pines is a door to a brand new world.
Yeah.
I just love that.
I think music in some ways, if it's a healing work, if it's an engaging work, that it is this invitation to not just be in the world as it is. You got to enter into this, just like you got into his shoes.
Yeah,
you
in
know,
his shoes, yeah.
That this song kind of serves that way, that you're not kind of walking around the circumference of this. I get a feel about nature and respect for nature, and just some clever, funny ways of the way you address it too. But there's invitation to walk in.
It's definitely an invitation into that place that Dan was when he wrote that song, where he was invited into John Muir's space.
Yeah. What are the kinds of music you have in here?
We have the music has different shifts in it. Some of it is very dynamic shifts. Some of them are up tempo. Some of them are not. Some of them were difficult because we basically, the way we did this here is Cindy and I perform at festivals all the time, side by side. So we wanted to record this side by side. Headphones, bass was isolated, but basically we just did them singing and playing at the same time.
They were all played with us together on the stage.
I actually went home and tried, okay, I'm going to play this song and now I'm going to sing, and I can't separate those two.
Yeah.
So that was the difficult part for some of these songs to do. But we really felt like we were on a roll, and we got Hiking with John done. Then we felt, okay, now let's jump into this.
The sky is falling, I can't see the moon. It's a powerful tide, could wash in soon. Best stay inside, away from the blue. Wouldn't take too much to hit me or you.
But it's also, there's a lot of humor in your songs too. I mean, you'll have, a kind of an experienced nature song, then you're talking about potatoes.
Because we really love potatoes.
It comes through.
Yeah, the potato song, by the
Tater
way,
song.
is called Tater Love.
Yeah, Tater Love.
I'll tell you the backstory to that real quick.
Yeah.
The backstory to that was, my mom lives in Arizona. So we're 6-hour drive away. We couldn't be there that weekend for Thanksgiving. So 6 o'clock in the morning, she texts me a picture of the potatoes in a bowl. Says, Dan, get over here and help me get these potatoes, because the whole thing is mashed potatoes for Dan every Thanksgiving. So then throughout the day, she'd give me pictures where they were peeled, and then they're boiling, and we'd make little comments back and forth. And by the time the day was over, between my mom and I, we wrote Tater Love. Just goofing off back and forth on our texts, and I wish that I'd have kept all those texts, but that came about from my mom's sense of humor as well as mine. We were just having fun.
1, 2, 3.
Well, you can leave the peas on, strip them to their undies, eat them with your breakfast, your pot roast on Sunday, cooked in chowder, simmered in stew. Every meal's better with a tater or two. They're always on the table for the holiday. And you can mash them, smash them, you can even hash them. The unsuspecting tuber makes you feel good inside. You slice them, dice them, boil them or fry. That simple-minded spud is love worldwide. Well,
Laura plays in that. There's fiddle in there.
Laura Bean played fiddle, and she knocked it out of the park. And then
sounds-
the other thing I should mention is Dylan Oles produced this. Dylan had this great idea, let's make that the live cut.
No.
And we managed to pull off a pretty cool cut in here.
He does a great job producing on air. Kind of burrowing into that, the sound of your voice, the sound of the guitar. If you don't like my song here, you're not going to like it way out here, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And it helped that they're our roommates, so we practiced together in our living room. He knows our music.
Oh, okay.
So he was definitely related to that music before he started doing the producing. Made a huge difference.
Yeah.
But I think one of our most important songs we have on here is Shower of Sparks.
Yeah.
The title was Cindy's idea. That is
helped.
yes, that is a story about the El Dorado fire. And that was at a time when I was traveling back and forth to take care of my mom and then come home, a lot of back and forth stuff. So I followed that story in the news every day, and I made notes as I went because I knew that this is a folk song. But I didn't really buy into it until we lost Charlie Morton. And when we lost Charlie Morton in the fire, a 20-year fire vet, I thought, my gosh, we got to tell this story.
Come hear a story that must be told of a family threw caution to the wind. Fields of gold they call El Dorado. Now let us begin. Look up from the valley, a column of smoke pierces the clear blue sky. Here come the planes to protect the gold, at least they're gonna try. Our family asked Aesop to answer the call. When the powder flashed, they weren't ready at all. Young dragon bone with the life of his own. Mean dark child began to roam. But he's born with a hunger, a burning desire. It's too late to hold back this fire. Buckwheat, sage, dry chaparral blackened as the gates of hell. Tried to fight that fire, planes from above, but the winds pushed to the north. Cold to ponderosa pine, big trees become the main course. Mystical canyon, valley of the falls. Our knights make a stand and they give it their all. At the hairpin turn on 038, it crossed the line and it opened the gate. On a hot summer morning, battle in the park. Brave firefighters in a shower of sparks.
And we have a friend up in Forest Falls, Paul Tetreault, has this beautiful, Paul.
Yeah, I know
He
Paul.
has this tree that's probably 1,000 years old. I don't know. It's hundreds of years old.
It's in his front yard.
He calls it the mother tree, I think.
Yeah.
And that's the picture on the
On the
back.
back.
On the back is Paul's. So,
And he caught
okay,
it with a
so-
shooting star.
so again, trying to get that feeling of community, as many folks as we could together on this project.
It
It's
is.
really fun.
It comes through, and for such an individual sound, there is this kind of group feel that runs through it. Kind of like this tree going up the side of the album. But you guys should be really proud. The people
Thank
know
you.
where to
Thank
get
you.
it.
We're
It's-
in love with this so much.
Thank you.
Check out Heartwood.
I'm drawn to her gravity. Yes, I'm drawn to her gravity. Tablecloth and folding chairs, 19 glasses of tea, celebrate a birthday, all the family. Gather round the table, beneath the family tree, blow 19 kisses, 19 wishes, happy, carefree. Grandma had to go away to the cold infirmary. Been there 19 days, alone in a misery. Well, the Hallmark cards from the family cannot hear her plea. Oh, 19 pink carnations Grandma cannot see. 19 pink carnations she may never see. Passenger on the breeze, 19 no veil disease, and the the ignorance cut down the family tree. So Grandpa in his easy chair, blanket across his knee, silent tears for 19 days, no more company. Well, he won't pick up the phone, he doesn't feel the need. Holds 19 pink carnations Grandma cannot see. 19 pink carnations she will never see. Passenger on the breeze, 19 novel disease, and the innocence, the ignorance, cut down the family tree. Passenger on the breeze, nothing but memories, the innocence, the ignorance, cut down the family tree.
I'm so afraid mistakes I'm making. If heaven is above, why on earth you let us find true love? Play it back. Won't you play it back? Take a little more time. So the good and the bad. This is the time, goes without saying. I made up my mind, the light is fading, and heaven is above. Why on earth you let us lose true love? Play it back. Won't you play it back? Need a little more time. Take the good and the bad. This is the hour, goes without saying. Make up your mind, down and patiently waiting. Heaven is above. Why on earth you let us feel true love? Play it back. Won't you play it back? Take a little more time. So the good and the bad. Play it back. Won't you play it back? Need a little more time. Take the good and the bad. Play it back. Play it back. Play it back. Play it back.
A song called Tater Love.
It's time for Tater Love.
Holiday season. Candy and taters.
Don't go too fast. Let's take it over. You can't hear me? Let's get up here closer. All right, there you go.
Well, you can leave the peels on, strip them to their undies, eat them with your breakfast, your pot roast on Sunday, cooked in chowder, simmered in stew, everything's better with a tater or two. They're always on the table for the holiday, and you can mash them, smash them, you can even mash them, the unsuspecting to the race. You put inside, slice them, dice them, boil them or fry. The supermarket spot is love worldwide, yeah. too, they're always on the table for the holiday. And real taters can be lonely. They mix with company that get along with onions, and they love the parsley and know the taste good. No need him around. Just grab a salt shaker, sit down and eat them raw. Well, you can leave the peels on, put them to their undays. Eat them with your breakfast, the pot roast on Sunday. Cooked in chowder, simmered in stew. Every meal's better with a tater or two. They're always on the table for the holiday. So don't be last in line for the buffet. All right, guys, thank you much. Thank you, Falconer. Thank you, Gabriel and Paul.
I want to thank Gabriel and the Falconer. And I want to thank Joe for our photographer. He's an amazing guy.
Wait just a little bit